Denver's found one effective way to get people to clear icy sidewalks. Knock on the door and ask.
Normally I'll go out there with like a stick and try to knock it all up because I know that like it is a pain in the ass, and I do apologize.
Answering your questions about who in Congress is getting paid if they're doing nothing for yet another day. No one argues that human trafficking must be stopped, but do these public awareness campaigns really work? And Denver's favorite tradition meets our favorite Friday tradition on Next. Dump on Denver all you want for the city letting the sun clear many snowy streets, but it's up to homeowners and businesses to clear most sidewalks. The city only issues a handful of sidewalk tickets with each storm. And that's because the vast majority of people who are asked to clear the sidewalks do. Here's Steve Steger.
It feels like we shouldn't have to explain why you need to shovel your sidewalk, but we will. Again.
It's really hard to get wheelchairs over bumpy, rutted, snowy sidewalks.
Jonathan Pira says whenever it snows in his West Colfax neighborhood, he isn't shy about letting the city know who isn't following the rules.
If we encounter properties that, it's been 24, maybe 48 hours, haven't shoveled, hard to get the stroller through, we'll pull up the PocketGov app and send in a notice to 311.
It may seem fruitless. The city barely issues any fines for unshoveled walks. You'd think that Pira would be here to complain about that process. He isn't.
It's actually been very responsive. I've always seen the notice out on doors the next day.
Denver property owners have 24 hours after a storm to shovel. The city relies on complaints to 311 to enforce that rule.
And I would watch your step. It's definitely icy.
Marcus Hill is an inspector for the city who let us tag along with him today.
In this scenario, it has not been done.
After inspectors get a complaint, they go and check a site out, usually within a day. If they find an icy sidewalk like this, they issue a notice.
24 hours if I don't clean the sidewalk, then you can come back and serve me a fine.
Absolutely.
Clean up or pay $150. The reason we say this works, the city's been busy since the start of the new year.
Okay.
In the first 5 days of 2023, they've inspected 755 complaints. 180 of those cases, they found the sidewalk was already cleaned up. They issued 567 notices to people that they need to clean up. Of those 567 notices, they only had to issue 8 tickets, meaning people got the message.
I don't think any of us actually wants anyone getting a fine. I think for some of the residents, it's more of a reminder.
Kevin got a knock on the door from Marcus today and quickly made things better.
When you own your house, you accept the responsibility that you do have to shovel snow.
Imagine that. One of the homeowners who got a notice from Marcus today, though, came out after he was gone. He told me as I was packing up that he would really appreciate it if the city cleaned the roads with the kind of diligence he's been asked to clean his sidewalk. Fair point. But the bottom line is this: the city is absolutely out inspecting. They have anywhere between 26 and 29 people inspecting those sidewalks based on all of those complaints they get through 311. And for what we thought was a handful of tickets, you'd think maybe it was only a couple of people out there. 755 complaints since the beginning of the year. That was in the first 5 days of the year. It's quite a few properties they were able to check out.
We talk about resources, how the city spends money. It would seem like this program is a pretty decent use of resources if an ask is getting other people to do the work.
Yeah, the thought is here, too, that these are inspectors who are usually out at construction sites working on those types of things. They say that, they can cover about 3,000 square miles of sidewalks in Denver with the resources they have. But remember, you could be doing other things and not have them out on the sidewalks if you just shoveled your walkway in the first place.
Yep, that's why you shovel out. You shovel out a neighbor if you can, or even just ask a neighbor, hey, can you do your walk?
Yeah.
All right, Steve, thank you. May I make a recommendation? Something to read that really gave me an education today. Longtime transportation planner Jim Charlier wrote a long Twitter thread explaining how Denver's current snow removal plan, the whole plow the main streets, then pray for sun to do the rest, was actually in part an environmental choice decades ago. Less sand on the roads, fewer diesel plows out there plowing didn't just save money for the city, it reduced emissions, and reduced emissions on the kind of winter days like, today, when the brown cloud tends to hang over the city. And back in the 80s and 90s, they realized how terrible that was for tourism. So he invites leaders to go beyond simplistic ideas like saying, well, just plow or just let the sun do it. And perhaps imagine a new plan that looks at everything from sidewalks to bike lanes to even street drainage. his thoughts really made me smarter, so I invite you to read this Twitter thread. We've put a link to it on the Next Facebook and Twitter accounts. The group of far-right Republicans holding up the vote for a House Speaker became a lot smaller today. But the 6 remaining holdouts, including a Coloradan, are still enough to keep California's Kevin McCarthy from becoming Speaker. McCarthy has won over 15 of the 21 holdouts. He made big-time concessions, like giving a single representative the power to call for a vote on a new speaker at any time. McCarthy told reporters he's confident he can win over the 2 remaining votes he needs as early as tonight. Colorado's Lauren Boebert has yet to indicate if she would ever change her vote, but another key holdout, Florida's Matt Gaetz, told reporters he thinks McCarthy's going to win this. The House will re-adjourn for a possible 14th vote tonight at 8. The longer the vote for Speaker drags on, the more questions we get like this one from Tom in Fort Collins. He wants to know whether House members are getting paid during this process. So, Tom, the House cannot conduct any other business, including swearing in new members, returning members, until they elect a Speaker. Now to payroll. The current House payroll is supposed to be processed on the 13th. If a new Speaker is not chosen before then, even House members are unsure whether they will be paid. Again, we have not had a stalemate like this go this long in more than a century. Here's what we do know about payroll. House staffers who have done nothing wrong in this definitely will not be paid if there's not a new Speaker selected by the 13th. And that's not the only business being held up. Here's what Colorado's Democratic Congressman Jason Crow told CNN.
We're not receiving briefings. We're not able to have the discussions with the administration. I actually tried to go to the White House and lead a group the other day, and they wouldn't allow me in because I'm a member-elect and technically not a member of Congress right now.
So the only thing that the House can do is vote on a Speaker, vote to leave to go home for the night, or vote to change the number of votes that a Speaker needs. They could go to a plurality. That's happened in the past. The deadline to run for Denver mayor is moving up. Like during the race, it's moving. Good thing there's no shortage of candidates. There are currently 26 people running for mayor. Another change to the deadlines made by City Council has upset some campaigns. Voters previously decided that this year's municipal election would be in April instead of May, so it moved some stuff up. It's also the first election in which candidates can opt into the Fair Elections Fund, which provides a taxpayer-funded match for certain campaign contributions. Candidates who opt into the fund have to reach a certain number of contributions to qualify. The concern was that the deadlines to qualify to get on the ballot and to qualify for that funding were too close together and they were too late in the process. So City Council just decided, well, we're going to move them up. And that's frustrating some newly announced candidates like Robert Trita. He's decided to run for mayor last month, so he's now scrambling to get the 250 contributions he needs to qualify for the Fair Elections match.
At the 11th hour, the city has decided to cut almost a month of fair election fundraising off of not only my campaign, but other grassroots candidates. And it's just, it's just not fair. It kind of gives a new meaning to, fair election.
City Council acknowledged that moving the deadlines during the race could get the city sued. But the clerk's office says they don't think that's a concern because they've been warning candidates all along that there might be rule changes along the way. So there's a mobile preschool in Aurora, mobile, like it's on a bus. There were 2 of them. They traveled to underserved neighborhoods where families struggled to get kids to and from a preschool in addition to everything else those families have to do to get by. UBU Early Learning is a nonprofit, and they're ready to expand to a 3rd mobile preschool. And Aurora Housing Authority has some neighborhoods where kids would really benefit from that. So the nonprofit just needs the money to buy and convert another vehicle. In 2 days' time, Your Word of Thanks microgiving campaign has gotten them halfway to their fundraising goal. You have raised $20,000 of the $40,000 they figure they need to buy a bus or an RV, they've got one of each, and then to retrofit it into a rolling classroom that can go to where the students are, go to neighborhoods not really served by another preschool. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get that link to join me and a bunch of others in donating. The head of the preschool program sent an email for you. She said, quote, "With your support, we are working to help change lives, build dreams, and lay the groundwork for hope in giving them a strong early start." Their work is life or death. So it's about getting people's attention any way they can.
And a lot of people will say, oh, I saw like a billboard, or I saw a sign in the airport, I saw a poster.
But are people really getting the message? Communities in southern Colorado remember a coach and athletic director who always put the spotlight on others. And our favorite Friday tradition has its boots on. Whatever is good in your world, from the grounds of the National Western Stock Show. Next. Volunteers are going business to business in the metro area, talking about the issue of human trafficking, handing out posters and sharing information. Good idea, but do these campaigns really work? Do they really reach the people who are in danger, the people who are being trafficked? Anusha Roy asked those questions.
Hi there. These volunteers go door to door along Tennyson in Denver. So we have certain posters to have a serious talk with strangers. We'll make some space on the community board. They never know who might see their posters about human trafficking, but that's the point.
And we never know what might be happening in the back kitchen or in one of these beautiful homes. There might be a domestic servant living in one of these homes as a maid and nanny and maybe only gets to go out to get the coffee and then gets to see that sign.
This is the latest iteration of the state raising awareness about human trafficking. Along with billboards and TV ads, the state is now taking a public health campaign approach to meet people one-on-one at coffee shops, restaurants, and clothing stores. Maria Trujillo, the human trafficking program manager, said when you add it all together, she's seeing a change since 2020.
Because one of the big calls to action is for people to call Colorado's human trafficking hotline. And we have seen an increase since our launch of monthly phone calls to the hotline have increased by 51%. We have seen victims calling the hotline in more numbers has increased by 30%.
Trujillo said the quality of info the state is getting is also better, resulting in law enforcement opening investigations and cases going to trial. The number of survivors connected to resources doubled to 200 people last year.
Where did you learn about the hotline? And a lot of people will say, oh, I saw like a billboard, or I saw a sign in the airport, I saw a poster.
No, I never really thought of that, to be quite honest with you, until it all just came up. But it makes complete sense.
So the state said it does make a difference every time another business owner, like the folks at Emporium, helps out.
I have children, and we have a lot of children that come in here, and for me, that would be just incredibly heartbreaking.
And they'll keep building that force of people watching for trafficking.
So this latest program is run off of volunteers all across the state, including some folks from 9 News who wanted to help out. And the state was saying that when victims and survivors are calling the hotline, some people are in crisis. They're trained to handle that. Some are in a safer place, and they're starting to look to build that trust over time and then connect with the resources. So they are hearing from people at all different points in their journey.
And when you think about where they're trying to reach people who might be survivors of human trafficking, it definitely busts a lot of your preconceptions. I don't know, whenever I see those stickers, like you'll see them at, a bar or a brewery or whatever, I've seen them like in hospital restrooms, and I'm like, that's smart, putting them in hospitals. But they've really got to cast a wide net.
Yeah, it has to be, and it has to be in all different places. And so the state said, it's not just Denver. They're everywhere along the I-70 corridor. They're doing this in Durango to Salida. They're at truck stops and laundromats and all these different places, because again, they don't know where they'll be able to intercept that one person at that one moment where they can actually call for help.
Anusha, thank you.
Well, we're still monitoring some very light snow showers across different portions of the state. Outside of that, we had a very mild afternoon here in Denver, highs in the lower 40s. Right now, we're at 32 degrees at DIA, where it actually feels like 32 degrees with light winds coming in from the south at around 3 miles per hour. So we are going to continue to monitor our HD Doppler radar. We don't have a whole lot happening, but we have just enough to keep an eye out on. So we have some light snow showers across central portions of the high country and western slope, and then we have some light snow showers in northern portions of the Front Range and eastern plains going into the northeastern corner of Colorado and starting to dip their way further south just a little bit, but we will wait for all of that to move its way out overnight and into tomorrow. So in the meantime, we do still have winter weather advisories that'll be in effect until 5 o'clock tomorrow for central and northern portions of the high country, where we are expecting additional snowfall to continue overnight and into early tomorrow before it trickles out. Overnight for the rest of us, mostly cloudy skies, lows near 22 degrees, and we continue to see very mild weather. Stick around for the weekend, a great weekend to go outside for those outdoor activities. Sunny skies, temperatures in the middle to upper 40s, even near 50 degrees by Tuesday, before we look for our next chance for a rain-snow mix Wednesday afternoon.
We remember a man who put kids first, and they adored him for it. We'll also head to the stock show to round up some good news, but apparently not everyone's in the spirit.
Well, are you going to be ornery now?
Maybe we'll just ask the humans then. Next. A champion for kids who helped young athletes become state champs has passed away suddenly. Eric Melgoza was the athletic director at Alamosa High School. He coached many teams, and the remembrances pouring in for him prove a lot of people felt like he was on theirs.
He didn't care if you were the competitor. He didn't care if you were on the other side. He was just compassionate about kids in general.
Eric Melgoza made his student athletes the stars. His social media feed is a highlight reel of their accomplishments and his encouragement. His final post on New Year's Day, before his sudden death following an accident at home, was to cheer on the kids at Alamosa, where he was the athletic director. Mean Moose Nation, let's have a stellar year. Great year to be a Mean Moose.
One of the main reasons he coached was just to make the world a better place.
Colorado Preps wrote about how Melgoza's 2017 Lamar girls basketball team won a state title, and he quietly inched out of the championship photo to give his students the moment. Derek Oxley ran cross country for Melgoza, and they stayed close.
Eric was like a second father to me. I knew that I could go to him whenever I really needed anything. He was there at my wedding, so that was super important to me. He really had such an impact on my life and so many others, and we'll never forget.
Melgoza came to Alamosa from Lamar. He told the local newspaper simply, "I like to see people succeed." His infectious joy for his athletic program was truly nonstop. A couple months back, when he heard that a news anchor in Denver was a fan of Colorado's many odd high school mascots, Melgoza and his assistant sent up a Mean Moose t-shirt and a note saying, "We'd love to see you wear it on TV. I'm so sorry that it's under these circumstances." Eric Melgoza loved sports, he loved kids, and he turned his passions into work that mattered in this world. We send our condolences to his family, his friends, and his students. The Stock Show and our favorite Friday question. What's your good news?
We are last-minute touches before the doors open for the public tomorrow, so we're in the home stretch. It's exciting. There's a lot of hustle and bustle around here, getting people moved in.
My good news for today is my day today is dealing with the people. They have brought laughter to me as well as me to them, and it just really has brightened up my day a whole lot.
My good news is that the National Western Stock Show is back for another awesome year, and this is Wilbur, and he's excited too. That's Padme. She is famous for causing trouble. You gotta look out for her.
My good news is that I get to skip school and come to the stock show.
My good news is I'm at the stock show showing llamas, and what could be better than that? Let's grab. Oh, is you gonna be ornery now?
My good news is I get to skip school and go with him.
The stock show brings a lot of joy to people. It's nice to walk through and just see people, meet people, get their stories. I mean, stock show makes people happy.
Good news is for me is I got to dance with all of these girls, and it was really fun.
I think our good news is that we have all made it and made that just the production that we have put forth, and hopefully we all will do really well. I have faith in all of these girls.
And then I'm blessed with, 5 girls, 1 boy, 12 granddaughters, and a grandson. I can't ask for more than that. That is my good news for today.
His good news every day. Pat in Durango phoned in with her good news. Cancer-free today. Pat, congratulations. Our thoughts are with everybody who is still in that fight. Hope that we can add you to our roster of good news. 6 years and counting worth of it. We'll see you next time.